Yay. Well, hello, everybody. And it is the 12th of January. And we are on the John Lavinia Success Mastermind platform, just in case you weren't sure where you were. But this is where the conversation to be part of is at. So if you haven't got a subscription, you better sign up because this is life-changing. It's transformative. It's where you need to be. It's where all the good stuff happens. I don't know about you, but this is a high I can't get off, right? I need this, a dose of this every day to keep it top. You know, like you don't ever want to be in reserve when you're on this platform. So you just want to keep coming back and making sure you got a full tank of gas, right? So that's why I keep coming back. I don't know about you all, but that's why I keep coming back. So I was on yesterday for Corporate Careers, and I kind of like made an announcement that today I was going to be hosting, covering for Glenn Henderson. The only one, oh my God, big personality. If I ever met one, he is larger than life in every sense of that phrase. He's larger than life, right? And I'm not sure I'm going to do him justice tonight. So Glenn, in absentia, I'm apologizing for wrecking your mojo on this slot, right? But I'm going to do my best. I promise. I really promise. Yeah. So I want to say welcome to people I can see. Daisy is on. Hey, Daisy. Lindsay, Dola, Mama. Well, she's in the background, but she's here. Like I said, John's here. The reason why we all get a chance to be on here, he's the man, the legend, the convener, the reason that brought us all together. Here he is, right? Yay for John. Oh my God, Gail, I haven't seen you this year. Happy New Year. Okay, now, if you were ever looking for a grandma that you wanted to be granddaughter or grandson to, Gail is the person. Just send a letter to Santa, to God, to whoever, and say, if I ever came back and I wanted a grandma, can I have Gail, please? She's the person to have. She is, oh my God, she spoils her grandbabies absolutely rotten. So Gail, thank you so much for being on today. And of course, Missy, you have become a constant feature. If you weren't here one day I'm on, I think I'd cry. I said this yesterday, I really would cry. Because between you and Bob, the questions you get us answering, your contributions, oh my God, you get us every time. So thank you for joining the family. We love you to bits. And then of course, Janet, oh my God. Janet, if I could write like you, that whole calligraphy thing, my writing looks like chicken scribble at the best of times. If I could write like you teach your students to write, I think I'd get every job I applied for because they'd be able to read my application for starters, right? So Janet, I need you in my life like desperately, right?
And I need you, Ivié. And you know what? The truth is, there was one application that I did write calligraphically, and it did get noticed in the whole pile of big stuff. Yes, it did.
See? You will make me stand out in more ways than one. So thank you, Janet, for always being here. And of course, Catherine, who I've only seen maybe 3-4 times virtually. I've never met you in person. But you are becoming a pillar on this platform. Thank you for being consistent and dialing in every single time. I love you forever. I don't know you, I've never met you in person, but I feel like I know you already. I don't know if that makes sense. And Edward, my brother from another mother. Now, like, if you ever wanted to reinvent yourself and create many versions of you, that's the man to speak to. Edward, I don't know how he does it. It doesn't matter what curveballs he gets, what kind of lemons he gets, he makes the best lemonade ever. I mean, when he tells you how he's reinvented himself, you'll be like, why didn't I think of that? He is fabulous at reinventions and he just keeps kicking. He never stays down. You can try and keep him down, but he'll just pop up somewhere else, right? That's Edward for you. He's like bounce back ability, the epitome of, right? So Edward, good to have you here and Happy New Year. I don't think I've seen you this year, so Happy New Year to you. So like I said, I'm coming from Glenn today and I was thinking of what to talk about. And I was going to talk about accountability, right? Because I think in part of goal setting and making sure that we get to whatever destination we have in mind. So if you think forward to December 2022, where we want to be, part of that journey is having people hold you accountable, right? And accountability for me has been a big thing, because it's one thing to have, I don't know if you can see the orange pieces of paper behind me. That's kind of like my vision planner, my, I don't know what, my top 10 goals, I kind of like do that, right? And that was like, I need to update that somewhat, because it's a change a bit since I do that. And I'm probably going to change the color of paper as well. So it just has a proper refresh, right? But I have that there. So every time I open those doors to access stationery or whatever, it hits me in the face, right? But I have that same stuff on my phone, in my planner, like everywhere I go, it's in my face. I can't get past it, right? But it's one thing to have all of that where you can see yourself and you can remind yourself. But it's a whole other story to have an accountability partner outside of your home, outside of your family, outside of your loved ones, because you know what? Family will always have your back. They'll cover a multitude of sins, right? They won't show you up. They won't grass you out. They won't tattletale on you. They won't backstab you, right? But a stranger, somebody you don't know who has no vested interest, and I use that loosely, so to speak, will kind of like pull you up on it and say, you know what? You kind of like dropped the ball on that one. What's going on, girlfriend? Or what's going on, dude, right? So you need an accountability partner to keep you grounded, committed, and not distracted from those goals you set. So like I always do, because for me, I learn better when I have pictures, or if I have somebody show me how to do it. I don't do very well with theory. Like theory are like, oh my God, abstract concepts, and they're like all up in the air. I need to pull it down to reality, right? So examples are big for me. Stories are even better, or somebody who's done it and come out the other side, right? If you show me, like you're sitting right beside me and you do it and you ask me to do it again, that repetition, something in my brain clicks and I learn faster like that. So online classes, oh my God, I know some people thrive in the online environment, but I've always been a face-to-face, mano a mano, put me in the class, I want to know who my competition is kind of thing. Who's always first? I want to beat that. That's a person to beat, right? I want to see them. I want to be able to touch them, punch them, pinch them. I'm very visual, right? So I love the physical classroom environment. So online classes, I've been doing sewing classes for the last 3 years, I think. And my sewing machine is behind some cupboard behind me. I'm not going to open the door and show it to you, but it's there somewhere. And because I haven't had physical classes, I've dabbled and I've made a few things, but I've not been as diligent or as consistent as I could be. But if I was going to class every week or twice a week, I'd have been a lot further along than I am now, right? So I just do better with practical examples. And so I like to tell stories, or I like to give examples of how things have actually worked, right? So when we come back to the subject today of accountability, I'm going to give you 2 examples, and I'm going to say to you what those examples, or what those scenarios, or what those accountability partners have done for me in my life, right? And so the first one I'm going to harp on, and you guys know I'm big on this, is my personal trainer at the gym, right? So I get weighed and I get my refreshed stats every Wednesday. Now, if you're like me, I try to give myself one cheat day a week where I can just be, right? So if I wanted a piece of courgette cake, I don't feel guilty for having that. If I wanted an extra glass of bubbles, I don't feel guilty about that. But when I know, and because I know Wednesday is the day in every week of every planner, it doesn't matter what diary I use, phone, paper, computer, iPad, wherever, Wednesday is when I get weighed in. You can be sure my mind gets super concentrated come Sunday night. Because usually Mondays and Tuesdays are my alcohol-free days. Because I know when you have 2 days or more consecutively, you get better results when you get on the scale. So I kind of like, I figured, I worked it all out. So I know I get weighed on a Wednesday. So I kind of like, no, okay, if I'm going to have a cheat day, or I'm going to go out with girlfriends, or I'm going to have a house party, or I'm going to have guests over and I'm going to have a dinner party, whatever it is, right? I know Wednesday is the day to watch out for, right? Not only because of Wednesday, because I know there's somebody else who doesn't know me, isn't my father, isn't my uncle, He's not my bestest mate. He's actually, oh my God, he's going to grill me, right? And if I don't get it right, he's going to give me an earful, right? And just having that other person there to hold me accountable and say, when you signed up to the contract of me being your personal trainer, you said you wanted this, that, right? So I said to him, I never want to exceed this weight range. So I've given him, and sorry guys, you're all in the US, I'm in the UK, we work with kilograms, right? I don't do pounds, I don't do stones. I don't even know how to work that out, right? I always have to get my phone out and do the conversion, right? But I've given him the stats and I said, from this kilo to that kilo, and I've given myself a 3 kilogram range, like really narrow. So it's like, it concentrates the mind. There's no wriggle room, right? From week to week, maybe I can, like let it go a bit, but I know I've got that much room to deal with, right? And I know how many times I can afford with my workload to go in the gym. As a result, I bought a cross trainer at home and I have a set of dumbbells at home. So I know if I can't get to the gym, I now live, as you all know, in grounds. Oh my God, there's so much room to run around, walk around. If I wanted to do cartwheels, I have room, right? I can just get out of the flat and there's a lot of space to do all of that stuff, right? So I have no excuse come Wednesday to get the metrics right, right? And he's kind of like told me my meal plan. So I have all of that. So I know what I'm allowed to eat, what I can't eat. And if I'm going to cheat, I know what days I can cheat, right? But because I have this person there holding me accountable, oh my God, do I behave? So come Sunday night, once it's 12 midnight on Sunday, that's it. I'm like, okay, that's it. Cheat day over, concentrate the mind. We're back like on track, right? So Monday for breakfast, oh my God, I have like very little. Like I go back to, okay, talk about you haven't got the frills, no fuss, no, like streamlined. So there's no butter, no cream, no, I mean, anything that you think will make the taste buds water and make food like taste, oh my God, super delicious, out the window, right? I'm like strict, right? So Monday, Tuesday, breakfast, lunch, supper, I'm like, okay, head down, that's it. We're getting this right. Because I want my Wednesday weigh-in to be the best it can be. Now, all week, I pretty much I try and stay on track, right? But I'm probably not as, well, to be fair, Thursday, Friday, Thursday and half of Friday, I tend to be strict. But Friday night, Saturday, and up until roast, lunchtime, okay, the English, the British, we're big on roasts on Sunday lunchtime, right? So it's a pork roast, it's a lamb roast, it's a chicken roast, whatever it is, with all the trimmings. So you get roast potatoes, you get the Brussels sprouts or, carrots, cauliflower, parsnips, whatever it is you want to have, right? It's usually meat and 2 veg, right? That's kind of like the standard English meat and 2 veg kind of thing, right? We don't do supersize. So you can have like slivers or whatever roast you want, but you always have your meat and your 2 veg, right? So up until Sunday lunchtime, I kind of like know from Friday evening when I'm out with the girls, or if I've got a cocktail party for work or whatever, until Sunday lunchtime, that's my cheat wriggle room space. But every other day, every other meal, it's like strict. And that gives me the permission to veer off the straight and narrow on those days from Friday to Sunday lunchtime. So I do this. But why do I do this? It's because I know it's not just me. If I was weighing myself at home, I'd be like, okay, so you missed the ball, this week. You're a kilo over. That's fine. Yeah, you get it back next week. But because I know it's somebody else weighing me, and he's weighing me on the gym's system, not on my system. Somewhere in my head, I think they rake the gym scales just to get you all, I put on weight. Oh my God, help, right? I don't think it's like the home scales you have, right? I don't know about you, but this is what I tell myself in my head. So you can imagine how super diligent I am because I know, and I'm paying this guy, right? It's not a free service. I'm paying him. So I should be allowed to say, you know what? Can't be bothered this week. But guess what? The one time and only time I ever did, can't be bothered. He gave me such an earful. I felt this small because he said, why are you paying me all this money? If you're not interested in getting the results, why am I here? And he went on and on and on for the full half hour I was with him. Well, guess what? After that session, I was like, I don't think I ever want him talking to me like that ever again. not in this lifetime or the next, right? So I can't, and it made sense. It's like, why am I paying him all this money if I don't want the results, right? So it was like, how badly do you want the results? I don't want to waste my time. If you want to waste your time, and he said this to me, he said, I'm not prepared to waste my time. I can go get another client who's going to pay me the same amount of money and we'll get the results. So your money is not that important to me. And that for me spoke volumes. That was posture. Because he was saying to me, you and your money can go where the sun don't shine. I'd rather have somebody else pay me the same amount of money who actually wants the results. And I went away that day and I thought, damn, right, this guy has really spoken to me and he's hit a nerve, right? And I thought, but he's got a point. He doesn't want to waste his time. I might want to waste my time, but he's like, you're paying me all this money and you're going to give me a review based on the results you get. But if you're not going to do your part of the contract, what's the point? And he was like, you know what? I'd rather not have a client like you, thank you very much. I'll go get somebody else that will keep my stats as high as they've always been. So of course, after that one session, I thought long and hard and I thought, okay, he's the best in the gym. Do I want to be with this guy or not? Because I could have picked somebody else who would have said, oh, wishy-washy. Oh, this week, oh, okay, so you missed it by 2 kilos. It's fine. We'll get it right in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But I was like, no, I wanted the best and I paid for the best, right? So when he told me that, I had to go back and think about, do I want to keep paying this subscription every month, right? And not put my work in? Because he was doing his bit. He was holding up his end of the contract. And so I thought, okay, so that's one example of an accountability partner. Because when it comes to my physical well-being, I want to be consistent. I want to be at the gym. I want to be turned because, you know, if you've been through a health crisis, and Shannon is probably an authority on this, and Ego is probably another person on this, they can tell you that every day you have life, you got to be grateful for life, right? And if you can get quality of life, that's even one step above just having life, right? So if you can do whatever you can to keep that quality of life, why would you squander it, right? And I've been through my health journey as well. And so I thought, this guy is talking sense. So he wasn't saying anything that I didn't need to hear. He wasn't saying anything that I shouldn't have known before he said it. But it was just like, when he said it again, it was like, okay, Ivié, like, wake up already, smell the coffee. Like, why are you throwing money down the drain, right? And so that made me super focused. By the time he was done with me, I cannot tell you how many clients he got as a result of me. From that one, like, I can't even call it a pep talk because he kind of like gave me an earful. It was painful to hear. So it wasn't a pep talk. He wasn't a coach egging me on. He was pretty much telling me, you know what, if you want me to be your coach, this is it. If you're not prepared, sayonara, I'll get somebody else kind of thing, right? So it was like an ultimatum. So it was painful to hear. But once I got on board with what he said, and people began to see the results in me in the gym, guess what? They always said, Ed, you know that woman that wears the orange top? Because that's kind of like my signature look. I always have an orange top, right? If anything happens, I want him to know I'm out the building if there's a fire. If he's ever looking for me, I'm the one. I want to stand out. I don't hide. Everywhere I am, I don't hide. Red, orange, some kind of color that will identify that's me. I'm the only client he had that ever wore bright orange, right? So I was always in an orange top. And so they would always say, you know that lady you kind of like, yeah, the clients you have in the orange top. I became his personal poster child. And so he got so many clients as a result of my results, right? Now, I'm sure he didn't give me that earful to get more clients. But you see what I mean about an accountability partner. It doesn't just work for you, but it works for the person who's the accountability partner. But then it encourages other people around you who are looking in, who you don't know are looking in, to actually say, you know what, if she can, so can I, right? So that's why it's important to have an accountability partner. So that's one example. So of course, we went into COVID in 2020. And so the gyms were locked down. We couldn't go to gym. And I thought to myself, oh, crikey. Okay, I haven't got a personal trainer now. I can't go to the gym. What am I going to do? Because I made all this progress. I fit into my clothes. I felt wonderful. My heels were just so, my clothes were just so, I mean, everything just looked right? And I was like, I can't lose all the gains I've got now. Like, how am I going to keep this up, right? And so I thought, what am I going to do? I kid you not, on Facebook, there is a group called, and I need to tell you what it's called so you know that I'm not fibbing. And I will show you what my screen looks like when I get it. So that, I don't know if you can see that. 30-day walking challenge, right? And this is somebody, she lives on the East Coast, and she formed this group in 2020. And what she did was she put people of different fitness levels, whatever, together. And she said, guys, we're now in a global lockdown. We need to keep moving. And now, when I say we got porky pies, I mean we got porky pies, right? And when I say we got skinny beanies, I mean we have skinny beanies and everything in between. So this was like, everybody keep walking, right? Just whatever you can do every day, do it and post your stats on the group, right? And we had challenges. So from month to month, we'd have a challenge, and whoever came tops will get a voucher or money in their account. But she created from 2020 a global family. We've never met each other. Half of these folks are in the US. I don't know who they are. I know them on Facebook, but I've never met them in person. They're not relatives. I didn't go to school with them. They're not my siblings' friends. I don't know them from a bar of soap, right? But what she's created, apart from being a global, walking fitness, whatever group, people have had health diagnosis. We've had cancer survivors. We've had COVID survivors. We've had, you name it, everything you can think of, we've had. But these are people who've been able to come on the group and say, I'm going through a bad day. I've hurt my knee. I've sprained this. I've broken that. I've lost this person. I got this diagnosis, and everybody chimes in. For a lot of people, that was a lifeline during COVID. So it started off about a walking challenge group, 30-day walking challenge, where you won a prize each month, you got a voucher, you got whatever. But it very quickly became a global family. And I was saying to her not too long ago, I said, I can't believe how this started from nothing to becoming a global family, where when people are sick, they can reach out to absolute strangers. They get care packages. They get money in their account. They get somebody drive to their homes. They get someone drive them to hospital appointments, you name it. From being an accountability site where we just kept each other accountable for saying, you know what, whatever you can do every day, just keep moving, right? So that's another example for me where it saved people mentally. People went through mental health issues where, they're probably only children, parents have died, they knew nobody else. They're introverts. You name it. They had tick, all the boxes of why they should have just disappeared. They should just evaporated into thin air, right? But because they had this online family, this community that they could tap into, that meant the difference between life and death, right? So sometimes when you pick an accountability partner, it's not just for you. It's for the other people that will read or hear your story, right? So this year, I don't know what goals we have, right? Where we want to be come December 2022, right? But on this platform, there are enough of us for you to pick somebody who can hold you accountable or people who can hold you accountable. So when I was thinking about this, one assignment, and it's got two parts, and you can pick the A or the B part. The A part is pick one goal you have this year, put it in the chat or communicate it to the group and say, guys and ladies, I want you to hold me accountable on this goal this year. It could be you want your business to hit XYZ revenue target, right? Or you want your consistency in physical well-being. You want to do 10,000 steps every day, or you want to go to the gym 3 times a week, or you want to reach out to 2 people, new contacts every week. Whatever it is, pick one goal that you can ask this family to hold you accountable to, right? That's the A part. If you feel, you know what, I really don't want to expose myself to everybody on the platform, pick one person that you feel you have a good enough relationship with, who you know will check in with you regularly to hold you accountable to that goal. So I know Madam Chop Chop, if you said to her, okay, Madam Chop Chop, I want to remember birthdays this year. Oh my God, she will hold you accountable to that because she has a whole diary of when the birthdays come on, right? And so she will say to you, well, whose birthday is coming up tomorrow? Or how many birthdays do we have this month? She is so diligent in stuff like that, right? So that's somebody you could pick for that. So I don't know what it is that you are thinking of goal-wise this year. Pick one goal and have either one accountability partner or use this platform to hold you accountable. So that come December 2022, you're not still umming and ahhing and saying, was I consistent? Did I hit it? Did I drop the ball? No. From month to month, week to week, day to day, someone is checking in with you to say, how are you doing on that goal? What can I do to help you keep on that goal, right? Because that's what an accountability partner, and they tell you the stuff that you don't necessarily want to hear, but what you need to hear to keep you on track, right? And we're a loving family. I think we've created that baseline and this safe environment where we can be honest with each other, right? So I don't think anybody should be shy to pick anybody on this platform, right? So you got two options, either the whole group, and you can type it in the chat now because the chats are saved as well, right? And I can say to you, that's what you said on the 12th of January that you wanted to be held accountable to, because I will remember this chat, right? So if you want to put it in the chat, that's fine. If you don't want to, you can pick your partner within the JLSM family and say, I want you, Mandy, hold me accountable for reading the books, right? I want to be part of book club and I want to be 90% attendance on book club on a Wednesday night, right? You host it. So you will know. And you'll be like, Ivié, you've missed the last 2 months. You got like literally 90% to go. So that means from here on till December 2022, you can't miss a single session, right? Because you're keeping those stats. You host it, right, Mandy? Sorry to pick on you, but I can see you on my screen and it was just an easy example to come up with, right? But that's the kind of thing I'm thinking about, because what we don't want to is get to December 2022 and have regrets. We have enough people here to help us cross the finish line on whatever goal it is we have, right? So that's what was coming up for me today. We've spoken about goals, setting them, breaking them into bite-sized chunks to make sure we achieve them. But a good part of that process is having an accountability partner. And I've given you 2 examples of a wider forum, a single person that's kept me accountable, right? So now I know I've gained a few kilos, I hate to say, but that's because I indulged over Christmas and New Year. My family wasn't here. So I was kind of like a couch potato, right? But it's fine. But guess what? Today, I went for my first run of the year. And boy, oh boy, did it feel so good, right? And I went further than I thought I could go. Because there's something about muscle memory. You might think, oh, it's been a long time since I did this. But guess what? I went down with my shoulder strap and I went with my knee guard. But guess what? I went further than I thought I could, injury or not. Because I thought at some point, I got to snap out of this and get into the year, get the year started, right? And then I came in and I got on my cross trainer and I did that. And then I did dumbbell exercises all in one day. Why? Because I know I'm going to be seeing my personal trainer next month. So I'm like, girlfriend, you better wakey the body. Because if you see him come February, you are going to be so still and so set in your ways. It's going to be a shock to your system. So I said to myself, why don't I start slowly and build up my stamina again? So by the time I see him and he works me out on, there's something I call the mad machine. I don't know what it's called. There's a name for it in the gym, but I call it the mad machine. I have never perspired as much as I do on this machine. I mean, I think I lose all the weight I ever lose on this one machine, right? And I know he's going to get me started on that machine. I can just see it coming. So I said to myself, why don't I do myself a service and warm up my system? So by the time I get on that mad machine, I'm ready for it, right? But that's because I know I have this partner in my personal trainer. So I don't know what it is for you. Think about that goal. You've broken it down into steps. You know what you need to do every month, every week to make sure come December 22, you can make that goal. You can get to that destination. But along the way, you need a coach, you need a cheerleader, you need an encourager, you need a supporter, whatever you want to call the person. It's all encased in that phrase, accountability partner. So find somebody, whether it's a group or whether it's an individual, get that person to hold you and not get you distracted from that goal, right? So that's what was coming up for me today. So as a title, it's called Accountability Partners, right? And let's all think about it. There will be at least somebody who you think will be able to get you over the finish line. Let's not waste any opportunity we have to achieve all that we can achieve in 2020. So on that note, I'm gonna open it up to everybody else. Yes, Virginia, I see your hand.
Good morning.
Hello, babe.
So I put it in the chat if you're available to be my accountability partner.
Absolutely, babes. Absolutely.
However, let me take my hand down. I do want to say that I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I have an accountability group that is people that are all members, and they don't come on very much anymore, but yeah, there's 4 or 5 of us that we used to go every week, and then we disbanded out 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and now we've decided to meet monthly. So we've just established our goals for 2022, you know, however many we want to focus on. I'm focusing on about 5 of them. Some people are focusing on 10 of them. And we're using the 12-week plan, the 12-week year plan, to kind of break those down. And so that's exciting. And I look at it, when I look at the 12-week year page of how I broke it down, like what needs to happen under each goal. It gives like a time week to start it in and when to finish it by. And that's proven very helpful, even just in the last 24 hours, just to say, what do I have to do next? Oh, let me just look at my sheet. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be working on that this week. Okay, let me work on that this week. And that other thing I'm thinking about, I don't really have to get to that till next week. So no worry about it today on there. So that's been very helpful.
Excellent.
And but
yeah, Virginia, you know I love speaking with you, and the cards you send me are always so sweet and so timely. So yeah, I put my hands and feet up. I will happily keep in touch with you because you crack me up. I mean, we can have a good laugh when you and I talk. It's like, oh my God, we connect on so many levels. So absolutely, I can be your accountability partner. Sign me up already.
I got EVA. Na poo poo.
Thank you, Virginia. Mandy, your hand is up. Sorry?
I'm sorry, I'll say, because I know out of anybody in this group, she will kick my butt most.
I'll probably love you to do what you need to do, not kick your butt, but I will love you endlessly and you'll end up doing it anyway.
Thank you, girlfriend.
You're welcome, babes. Mandy, over to you.
Hi, Ivié. Yes, it's very similar to what Virginia was just saying. So this time last year, in 2019, we just read the 12-week year. So I got an accountability group together of Neil and Jane and Emma, and we would meet on a weekly basis. And it did make such a difference because we were also getting used to the 12-week years. We were using the spreadsheet, and each of us had different strengths to help the others on. It really did focus your mind. I think it's really, really good. We haven't met yet this year for different reasons. We've got different plans that we're on at the moment, and Neil and Jane are having a bit of a hard time. But so we haven't met yet. But I really, really do recommend an accountability partner. And it has to be, like you said, it has to be somebody. When you first start it, you probably don't quite say everything in the way that you need to. But I have learned on the last thing that I've been on, because I've got buddies also that hold me accountable from the last training I've done, that you have to love somebody enough to tell them the truth. So otherwise you're not doing them any favors. So you have to be able to tell them in a nice way what you need them to do or what they're not doing if they're not meeting their goals, and then help them if they're not meeting the goals. Why? What's in the way? What's between them wanting their goal and hitting their goal? Because otherwise you can't, they might not know what the difference is, and it's getting them to think about it as well and to wonder why they're not quite there yet. So yeah, I think it's a really good topic, especially this time of the year. The only other thing I would say, actually, which I meant to say yesterday, was that we've been talking about goals as well, haven't we? And the other thing to bear in mind, and that's another thing that 12-week year does, is that in psychocybernetics, he said the systems that you have are as important as the goals you have. So make sure that you've got the goal, but then you need to have the system, which is the process to get you there. And the 12-week year helps you to have that process as well, because without the process, you're not going to hit the goal.
Absolutely.
And that's why it's really important to have that, and then the accountability people to make you stick to those processes and those goals.
Absolutely.
So yeah, everybody go and do it. It's great. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, Mandy, I'm going to start by saying you look like an absolute celebrity, superstar. Yeah, no, seriously, you could be an actress in, I don't want to say Dynasty, but one of those really like upmarket, like, no, seriously, you look the part, you look the business, like, oh my God. Like, if the picture of you today was on a book cover, I don't care what the subject was, I will buy the book. You just look, oh my God, fabulous. So I'm going to start by saying that. And now you should use this as one of your profile photos on whatever platforms that you want that certain gentleman to find you on. No, seriously, because if he don't see what he's missing out on by seeing this photo of you, he needs to get his head checked. Sorry to say, like, you are looking the part. Like, I'm sorry. So that you got me distracted on that. But everything else you said, no, sorry. I was like, wow. Like, okay, do you have a photo shoot? Like, did someone like professionally do you up? I'm like, oh my God. Like, so that's what got me started. And then no, you look phenomenal. So good on you. Like, and just keep showing up like this. Oh man. Oh, you know, I can't wait to see who turns up. I'm like, yes, I'm excited because I'm like watching this space with bated breath. Exactly, very soon. The other thing I was going to say was, you're so right. The systems are so important, because if we don't have the support systems in place to help us get to those goals, that destination, it's not going to happen. And part of that system, that process, is the accountability partner. And we need somebody who, and guys, don't pick a super nice person. Pick somebody who's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. No mollycoddling here. I mean, how badly do you want to achieve this goal? That's what you need to ask yourself when you pick this person, right? So don't pick somebody who always agrees with you. No, pick somebody who challenges your thought process, because that's going to really make you think if that goal, if that mini task, if the steps you put in place to achieve that goal are actually the right ones to have in place, right? So it's really, I'm asking us to get out of our comfort zone to some extent. We really, really, really need to think. I mean, it's not going to be the kind of person that their language choice, their delivery style you necessarily like or resonates with you. You're going to have to put yourself out there on this. It's not going to be a comfy, oh, I'm on the couch and I can have a lovely conversation with my glass of my favorite tipple. No, it's going to be you're at your desk taking notes kind of thing, because this person is going to be downloading on you because it's stuff you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So part of it may make you feel antsy, uncomfortable, borderline, maybe even angry. But I promise you, if you just take a seat back and you replay the conversation, it will be what you need to hear and what will serve you and what will help you get to that destination, right? So really think hard about who you pick or what group you pick, right? But I think there are enough voices on JLSM that will give you, when you sift through, you kind of like get to the heart of what you need to hear. I mean, we're all very different people, but somehow John has created a space where we all get to voice and chime in, and it works. I mean, because sometimes I read some comments and I'm like, ouch, right? But when I go back and I read the comments again, I go, you know what, Ivié, you can take a bit out of that, right? So this platform is a good place to get the ouch moments that are probably the best things we need to hear from where we're at. But if you're a bit too like shy and you're not quite ready for that exposure full on, then pick one person. But when you pick that one person, make sure it's someone who's going to challenge you and not somebody who's going to agree with you, right? That's kind of like the caveat on that. But thank you so much, Mandy. That was, yeah, absolutely key. Absolutely. Does anybody else have anything to weigh in? Thank you, Mandy. My nails need to be redone though. It's like, they've grown out. I need to redo them. Thank you. Does anybody have any comments on what we've spoken about today? John, do you want to weigh in? You always have something, some wisdom, some pearls to share with us. Okay, I think John's probably setting up another light or another sconce somewhere, or finishing off Shannon's office or something. So it's probably not quite here. Does anybody else have anything to say on this? Otherwise, I'm happy to give you 19 and a half or 18 and a half minutes back. How's that? So I hope I've done Glenn justice today. I know I'm not the big personality that he is, but I just thought this fits in with everything we've spoken about so far this week in terms of goals and breaking them down, and then corporate careers last night. And I just thought this was another aspect that we could start thinking about to set us up well for the rest of 2022. So if you guys want to just send me your, I don't know, your goals that you want to be held accountable for, if you wanted suggestions on who you think an accountability partner will be for the goals you have, I'm happy to make suggestions and try and like say, this person might be a good fit or that person might be a good fit. But I think it's key that we get that as well, because, you know, sometimes when we run alone, we need that cheerleader, we need that coach alongside us. We need that other voice that just keeps us going. Because sometimes when we're in our own head and all we hear is our own voice, it gets a bit lonely sometimes. And just knowing that there's somebody on that journey with you makes all the difference, right? So you do have this family by default, you have this family on the journey with you. But just in case you don't want to open yourself up that wide, then pick one person to actually run the race with you. And I'm sure they'll be more than honored to do that. Because I think we've come a long way together, that we're at that place where we can support each other and not feel like, you know, it's a chore. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what's coming up for me today. Virginia, your hand's up again. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to see, how do you want us to send that to you, via email? That'd be the easiest, I think, especially.
Yeah. Email will be good. So I'm going to put my email in the chat just in case you all don't have it. If you wanted suggestions on who could be your accountability partner, and I think that's it. So yeah, I put my email in the chat. So it's my first name, my last name at yahoo.co.uk. So it's Ivié Barnabas, all one word, lowercase, at yahoo.co.uk. As far as I know, we don't have anything else on the calendar tonight because Glenn is away this week and he's away next week because it's Paula's birthday. So they're on a cruise. So I don't think we have networking magic. I could be wrong, but please double check your calendars. But for what I understand from what he said, he is away this week and next week. So he may not be able to log in for networking magic because obviously he's spoiling the wife, right? So let's let them have their cruise and then we can hear all about it on their return. Mandy, I think you had your hand up because you wanted to chime in. We have books for Britain.
Don't forget books for Britain. You've got to be there, Ivié. I'm expecting you.
See, you're already holding me accountable.
Chapters.
Exactly. You're already holding me accountable to be 90% attendant this year.
Yes.
Guys, see what I mean? It's already working. I had forgotten. See, This is what I mean. But when you put it out there, you will be held accountable. So you might forget. Mandy, bless you. I love you forever. So at 8 p.m. UK time, which is 3 p.m. New York time, so Eastern time, we have books for Britain. And we are still on, I think we're on the first 4 chapters of The Law and the Promise.
No, we did those last week. We're on 4, 5, 6, and 7 this week.
Okay, yeah.
The power of the subconscious. You're doing that on the power of the subconscious mind. We're doing that.
There we go.
Yeah, you were there on Monday probably. So yeah, you've got the other book club to do this week.
So we're still doing power of the subconscious mind. There we go. Because I knew we were one book behind. So in the UK, we're still doing the power of the subconscious mind. And we're on chapters 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
But in the US, we're on the new book. So I'm not going to mention that. So it's 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's 8 p.m. UK time. So as many people as want to get a refresh of that book, or if you missed the JLSM Monday night version of that book for these chapters, you are more than welcome to join the UK team and we can discuss this. But either way, guess what? Repetition equals reinforcement, right? So when you hear something again and you hear different perspectives of the same material, somehow it just cements in the mind. It's like it settles in and it becomes part of your core and your operating, like your operating process, right? Your operating system. So it's never a bad thing to hear it twice. So if you can, please join us, because I intend to be on there with Mandy and the rest of the team, because I have committed that this year I will be better in attendance for Books for Britain. And so Mandy is going to hold me accountable to that. Thank you, Mandy, for reminding me. See, it works. It works, people. It works. So yeah, let's call it a day there, because I don't see any other hands up. But thank you, everyone, for joining me. And I know it was meant to be Glenn, but you got me. And I hope I added some value to your lives. And I'm more than happy, like I said, to get emails on matching you up with accountability partners if you want one from the JLSM platform, or if you want further information on how to find one and what criteria to consider when choosing one, right? But everybody have a good day, regardless of what you do. Have a good evening, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.